Yeah, okay, guys. Once again, very good afternoon. I hope you are all doing pretty well. So, in the last sessions, like yesterday, we have covered SQL and what is, we have discussed some terms, DBMS, MySQLs, and what is SQL, why do we actually use SQL, what are the commands, how the SQL classified based on their nature. So we have three different kinds of like DDL, DML, DCL, DQL. So again, in each and every language, it has some specific commands. So create, alter, drop, insert, update, and we have covered how to create the basics table and how to create a sample database and how to create fields or columns, how to define new values, how to insert new values into the table, and how to fetch the retrieves from the table by using the select, and how to drop the database table by using the drop command, and the disk, it is used, the full form of disk is a description. So it is used to see our table description, and we have covered this drop, truncate, delete, and what is the major difference between among these commands, and where, and select, and the structure of inside this MySQL workbench would be like this: databases, inside databases, tables, inside tables we have table, records, and data rows. And so, and as well as we have covered how to modify, how to manipulate uh, table and inside data. So we know that alter, it is used to alter the structure of the table. That means existing table. So that means you can add new column, you can drop existing column, you can modify the size of the column, and truncate, rename. How do we rename table name from old to new, and update? So we know that. So this alter command, it is used to perform operation on table level. So if you want to perform operations on a row or data level, then you need to use update command. So under update and delete, you know that. So it is a similar to truncate, but the minor difference is, so delete, it accept condition. I mean, based on the conditions, it perform actions. But the truncate, it removes the every record, but the it remains the structure of the table same. So this we have covered. So today we are going to do the constraints, data constraints. What is exactly mean by data constraints? So if you want to, let's suppose, if you want to apply some rules on a columns, like yeah, in this. So if you see this, take this basic example: first name, last name, age, grade, and a phone number. So let's suppose uh, phone number. I want to give phone number. We know that phone number is a unique. So in everyone has a unique phone number. So I need to apply some rules on phone number column. That means that phone number never accept, it should not accept duplicate phone number. So in those cases, I can use, I have to apply some rules. That is nothing but a constraints. And age. So I need to check age. The age must have to greater than 18. So before inserting the actual value into this age, I need to check. So that is one kind of rule. So the basic definition of data constraint is we can apply some certain rules on columns. So data constraints in SQL are used to specify rules for data in a table. It is only applicable for existing table. So constraints are used to limit the type of data that can go into table. So this ensures the accuracy and reliability of the data. So by applying the constraints, we can achieve accuracy and reliability of the data in the table. So MySQL supports um, five kinds of data constraints. One is primary key, another one is unique and not null and check constraint, and finally foreign key. So primary key. So actually it is a constraint. So it is constraint. So the main objective of primary key is it never allow duplicate, and it doesn't allow null. So the main objective of a primary key is, so it never allow duplicate values. If you insert duplicate values like in the same values, so if you apply the any these constraints on any certain columns, so that means that column never allow duplicate values, and it also allow null values. That means we have to give some values. However, that is the main objective of a primary key. So uh, every table contain a single primary key. So we need to so the table must have to contain only one single primary key. Let's go with an example. Workbench. Let's open workbench. Open. Okay. SQL file. So take a new file. So I forget to do one more thing. So in the last sessions, we have covered commands, like how to alter, not this one. Yeah, this. Yeah, how to alter the existing tables by applying different operations. So we can perform these operations without commands. Let's suppose tables. So this is my table. So you need to select the table and you need to right click. There you will find a lot of options. So among that options, there is one option that is alter table. So alter table, you need to click that, and here you need to alter. Like you can give name. Let's suppose student. Uh, okay, for time being, it is not allowing to do this. Call indexes, foreign key. No, I need to apply columns. Okay, here I need to check why it is not allowing. So here you need to mention the column name, and you need to select the appropriate data type here, and you need to click apply. Then the changes automatically reflect to this student data table. Mhm. So we have a student data. So let's create one more table with two constraints. So I want to create a new table, employee info. Create table, employee info. Here I need to give the employee ID, EMP ID. So it is a integer data type. So here, okay, let's keep that to same. EMP name, employee name, varchar 30. Uh, Department, Varchar 20. Next one is salary float. Here I need to give the size 2. The final one would be phone number. Contact. Contact. It should be Varchar. I need to give the size as 10. So I have created basics table of employee info. So on this table, I need to apply some rules. What is my requirement is. So I need to make this employee ID column as a unique. That means employee ID always should be unique, and it never allow duplicate, and it never allow null values. So for that, I need to just mention primary key. Primary key. So whenever you apply primary key on a certain column, so that MySQL ensure that so on this specific column, so the user cannot to insert to duplicate values, and he cannot able to insert null values also on this particular column. So that is the employee ID. So this is the primary key. Next one is unique constraint. So it is obvious it is also unique constraint to ensure that all values in the columns are different. So the major difference between primary key and unique key means it allows null values, but uh, that values should be unique. So all values in a column are different. So that is each value in the column should occur only once. So that means it will only appear only once, not more than one. So see, you can find the difference between primary key and unique key is constraint provide a guarantee for uniqueness for column or set of columns. However, a primary key cannot contain null. So since it uniquely identifies each row. Yes, based on the unique ID, yesterday we did like based on the unique values, we can find the particular row. So on each table can have only one primary key. So on the other hand, unique constraint, it allows for it allows for null values. So it allows for null values. And table can have multiple unique keys. So we can define multiple unique keys and it allows null values. So it is similar to this one. Uh, okay. Here I have defined. So primary key. So let me create the table. I think it won't execute because we need to select database. Use PCS global. So then execute. Yeah, okay, so created one warning. So you can find the number, specified number of digits for floating point data type in deprecated. Remove, okay. So it is showing error. That means, so the MySQL team is going to remove this floating point values. So here I have forgetted. So I have defined the data type for salary float. So inside parentheses, I have given two parameters, 5 and 2. So I am giving the total size is 5. So in the total size, so 2 is the decimal points. After decimal point, you can give only two values like this. So this is the 5. Size total 5. So in here you need to the 2 indicates I'm making decimal points 2 after the decimal point. Okay, okay, what? Yeah, okay. So now try to um insert into employee info values. Employee info, employee ID. What is my employee ID? Triple one. Not that one. Mm, yeah, 101. So employee name, Harish. Department is from developer. The salary. So salary is mm, 23,000. Contact. So copy. Mhm. So 102. Mm, Shomesh. Testing. 40 something. Give some rating. 103. Uh, Rakesh. Mm, he is from DBA, Database Administration. His salary would be 40,000. Mm, on is suitable, double two, double three, double four, double five. I need to close the quotation. So error code out of range for Gallus salary. Okay, row one. Where it is the row one? Float we define. Mm, 2, 3, 4, 5. 30. Let's keep that. So out of range for column salary total 5. D say okay, okay. Alex. Employee info. Let's give size 8. 23,000. Console. Okay, now it's fine. Student employee info. So there you can find SQL file time, this one. So we created a table and we inserted some values for testing purpose. So you can find the details, one out employee ID and employee two. So let's go back with the primary key. So what is the main object of primary key? So it never allow duplicate values as well as it won't allow null values. Now try to insert Same. So now try to insert same employee ID, that is 101. Let's change um, values. So content 35,000 for. hmm. So now whenever you try to insert, you will get a MySQL will throw an error. So now see, so it is throwing duplicate entry. So 101. So we know that. So we define the primary key on the column employee ID. So again, we are inserting the same employee ID. So that means it never allow or duplicate values. But if you try to omit this one, if you keep it null, then again it won't execute because column count does not match values count on row. Uh, oh, let's specify null. So if you try to insert null, I think it will accept. So column employee cannot be null. See, the two condition has satisfied by primary key. It never allow null and as well as a duplicate entry. Let's 104. Now you can execute. Yeah. Now the query has been successfully executed. So now again execute the query. Now you can check. So this is the primary key. So is the primary key constraint. So it is used to, there is one more primary key. So it is used to uniquely identify each row. So employee. So here employee name. So maybe different persons have some common name, and that persons might come from same department name, and the salary would be also same. But for time being, keep that alone. If you want to find the employee details, so it is not possible by employee name, a department, and a salary and contact. So you cannot remember every contact number. So, but we can find the employee info by unique employee ID. So select star from. We know that everything. Mm, employee info where employee ID is equal to 104. Now, if you execute, you can find an employee ID who is having employee ID 104. So you can find the unique key, unique values. Then unique constraint. So we know that it allow null values, but it is always so uh, the value should occur only one. So we can add constraints by altering the table also. So adding unique constraints in existing table. So to add a unique key constraint to existing table, you would use alter command. So you can here, yeah, you can mention constraint while creating the table also. But in some situations, uh, we want to apply some rules after the table has been created. So in that circumstances, we can follow this alter method. When this alter, it is used to alter the table. Like we can add columns, we can add constraints, we can modify, we can drop. So to add unique constraints, so alter table, table name, and add. So we are adding constraint column, on which column we need to mention here. So inside parentheses, so we can apply unique constraint on multiple columns. Uh, let's yeah, let's add a unique constraint. So unique constraint for contact because every employee has a unique contact. alter table employee info, add. Here we need to mention our constraint. What is our constraint? Unique. Event members, okay. And here you need to unique. Here after unique constraint, we need to mention the column. So what is our column? Contact. Contact. Oh, syntax incompleted. Okay, it is finding something. Yeah, we need to close. Yeah, we need to give the parenthesis. Yeah. So like this way also you can add unique constraints on particular column. So let's execute. Now see alter table employee info. That means added unique constraint on which column? Contact. So affected, duplicate, there is no warnings. Now we can refresh. Let's verify whether this unique constraint successfully added on particular contact column or not. So you can verify that by using this keyword description employee info. Execute. So now you can find. So keys. So we define the primary key for employee ID and just now we altered the table. That means we added unique constraint, unique UNA, the short form, on which column? Contact. Yeah, we can verify the successfully we have added unique constraint and contact. Now let's close this one. Mm, yeah. Okay. Insert. That is the not this one. No, no, no. Let's fetch the data. So we have applied the unique constraint on contact. Now let's suppose I want to insert a same contact number with a different unique ID. Uh, Copy, Control V. So I need to give the different ID. Let's change the name. Manisha. Um, System designer. Um, 45,000. Yeah. So here I am giving the same contact number for this new entry. Let's clear the console. Now, if you try to insert, so MySQL throw an error because duplicate entry. So that means we have applied unique constraint. That means every phone number contact must have to be unique. Now you can change by single character 7. Execute. Now you can wait one row affected. Now you can fetch the records. Okay. Let's change the name 106. What is Venkat? He is from manager. Let's keep the same values. Now let's, yeah, always it will throw an error because the column count mismatch. See, the column count mismatch. Now let's try to insert null values. So I'm inserting null for contact field. You can execute. So one row affected. So now you can verify that. So one row affected. So because of the unique. So unique constraint, it allow null values and it won't allow duplicate values. So that is the now update. So that is the unique. Mm. So you can drop the constraints also like this. Alter, we know that alter table name and a drop. After drop, we need to mention the constraint and the constraint name. Next, not null. So not null. So by seeing that name, we can conclude that not null. So something should not be null. We need to insert some values, however. So see, the not null constraint in SQL, it ensures that a column cannot have a null value. Null value. So thus every row record must contain value for that column. So it is a way to enforce certain fields to be mandatory. Exactly. So we can make some columns. So that means we can make some columns as a mandatory to insert some values. So while inserting records or updating the records. So for instance, if you are designing any table for employee data, you might want to ensure that the employee ID and the name are always provided. Exactly. In this case, you would use this not null constraint. Always it is similar to like how we added unique constraint by using the alter. In the same manner, you can add it. So adding not null. So you can also add not null constraint to existing table using alter table. So this is the syntax. So alter table, we need to mention that our table name, and here we need to instead of modify. So modify column our column name and that to data type and we need to give the size. After that, we need to give the constraint. So let's suppose if you perform same like this way, alter table add. Let's suppose uh, add not null. Not null. Let's remove this one for EMP name. Now you can see. So we cannot add. So because every constraint has some specific rules. So if you want to add not null for specific column, you need to follow this syntax. So alter table, table name, add. Instead of giving add, we need to give the modify. Then we need to mention. So I need to give the not null for employee name. So here modify emp name and then varchar always 30. Here I need to mention the constraint. So now you can verify it is not suggesting any errors. So employee modify and employee name varchar. After that, we need to mention the constraint. You can mention constraints while creating the table also. Let's suppose like how we define the primary key. Like this way, you can define not null constraint. So here I have altered the table and I have added not null constraint. So let's execute. So the query successfully has been executed without any errors. Let's verify by executing disk. Okay, you need to mention refresh, execute one. Yeah, now you can see. So these are the keys. So primary, unique, these are the keys. But here it is not a key. So it is a one kind of rule operations, null. So you can find here, you can find yes or no, only two options. Whether a certain column should allow null or not. So we know that employee ID, it always never support null and unique also. So just now we applied not null constraint for EMP name. So that's why it has been now changed from yes to no. So we can verify that by inserting some values. Hmm, employee info. So 106, 107. So I am giving the null. Null, something value null. Here, define some values. Clear student. Student. Call employee name cannot be null. You can find it is throwing null because we applied constraints on name. That means name must have to given. We need to enter the name. So now you can enter 0. Now you can verify that. Yeah, now it has been executed. Let's go and fetch the record. Execute. See. So here we created. So this is the not null. The another one is check. Yeah, check. So in SQL, it is also constraint. So that limits the value range that can be placed in a column. So that means we can limits the input range on the specific column. So it enforces domain integrity by limiting the values in column to meet a certain conditions. So that means we can apply some conditions also on columns. So check constraint can be used in a column definition when you create or modify. So this is the syntax. Like here you can apply the constraint check. Here you need to give the condition. So you can apply the conditions. Let's suppose add check constraints. Uh, Contact salary department, employee ID. Okay. Employee name, check constraints, contact department. Contact, how do we check salary? Yeah. So I can define check constraint for salary. That means every entry, every new, whenever you enter a new entry, I need to check the salary, whether that salary is greater than 15,000 or not. So the salary must have to be greater than 15,000. Then only I need to insert. Otherwise, I need to throw error. So they say one condition. It is a check. It is checking the condition. So you can do that. Let's how do we define a syntax column? Alter table. Let's suppose employee info. Add check on which salary. So greater than 15,000. So C. So I am adding check constraint. And which field? Salary field. So that means the salary field, it must have to satisfy this condition 15,000. So now you can execute. So now it has been executed. Let's verify. Uh-huh. Refresh. Okay, we applied. So let's verify that. Select to start from. Yeah. Let's give some random 108. Maha manager, uh, team lead. So not a team lead. Maha is a clerk. Then give 13,000. And this should be unique, clear. So now execute. So now you can verify. So check constraint employee info check one is violated. So that means there is a some mismatch on this check column. By seeing this error message, we can confirm there is a mismatch. That means this the check constraint is not satisfying some conditions. What is our condition? The salary must have to greater than 15,000. So now you can give, if you try to give 15,000, it is also give through an error because it must have to greater than, not a greater than or is equal to uh, 15,000 rupees. Now try to execute. Now it has been executed. Now you can verify that. Hmm. So now see 15,000. So that is the check constraints. We can apply check constraints on multiple columns by separating comma. So you can apply multiple constraints also. Uh, let's remove this 106 or else let's update this one. So how do we update? We are performing row level operations. We are manipulating the data. So we know that we need to use update, set, contact, uh, like 333, 777, 999, 1, where EMP ID is equal to 106. Okay, update, we need to give the table name, employee info. Now execute. Okay, now yeah, we updated the values. So these are the constraints. We will discuss these primary key constraints in the next. But simply let's go through overview. So foreign key. So it is a constraint. It is used to link two tables. If you want to make relationship between two tables, if you want to make link between two tables, in those cases you can use foreign key constraint. So it is a field or a collection of fields in one table. So that refers to the primary key in the another table. So the table with the foreign key is called child. So like how inheritance on the one with the primary key is a parent or a reference. So so we can add primary, sorry guys, you can add a foreign key in different ways. Like you can add foreign key by using the alter command, alter table, child table name. So on which table we need to mention the foreign key. So that is our child. Then add foreign. We need to mention the foreign keyword and inside column name. So then we need to have a one reference table. So reference, if you want to make relationship, so reference, so that a parent table and parent key column. So this is the syntax. In order to make relationship between two tables, you can find. So here the child table is the child table. So FK column is the column where you want to use the foreign key, and parent table and the parent key column. So here you can find one example. So suppose we have two tables, order and customer. So you can find all the details like order details based on the customer ID. So where order table has a column customer ID, that should have point to customer table. So if a customer has a customer ID column as the primary key, then you can create a foreign key as follows. Alter table. This is our child table. So we are making the foreign key customer ID, and which column customer ID. We're referring customer tables customer ID. So that means you can find the particular orders of a customers based on the customer ID. So if you mention customer ID, then it will give the customer details as well as the order details. So that is the foreign key. We can cover that. So before that, this is the check foreign key. Uh, yeah. So let's see some functions, inbuilt functions. So like how other programming languages, Java, Python, like how they has some inbuilt functions. SQL also supports some inbuilt functions. So those are the aggregate functions. So functions. So aggregate function. So SQL aggregate functions are inbuilt functions. So that are used to perform some calculation on the data and return single value. So that means we can perform some operations by using these aggregate functions on a group of values. And finally, it returns results as a single value. So single value. So this is why they form the basis for aggregate. Aggregate queries like a group. So this functions operates on set of rows. A written single summarizer exactly. So we can this aggregate functions will perform set of rows or set of data, set of uh, rows, yeah, set of rows. SQL supports some inbuilt. There are 5 inbuilt aggregate functions. So those are sum, have, AVG. Sum, AVG stand for average, max stand for maximum, min, minimum, and count. So each and every aggregate function has some unique operation. So let's suppose if you want to find the sum of the total value. Let's suppose here in our table salary, I want to find the total value. Uh, so here I want to find the total salary. Of that, here we have a group of rows. So you can perform by using aggregate function that is sum. So this sum function is basically easy to calculate the sum of column. So this is the column. Salary is on column. We're applying the aggregate function on this column. The column. This function allows you to add up column of numbers in SQL table. So the syntax is like this. We need to follow like this. So select under sum, we need to use aggregate function. On which column we need to mention that to column name. Always from table. So example. So select some quantity as total quantity from order. Mm, and average. So if you want to find the average, so if you want to find the average of the salary, or if you want to find the minimum salary, or if you want to find the maximum salary. or if you want to find how many rows presented in particular in this table. Let's suppose here, no, we can simply say by saying this 108. But in real scenarios, there might be thousands lags. So if you want to find the accurate results, how many records are presented, in those cases, you can use this count function. So this is description and see. So this is the select count and a star. Here we need to mention the star. You can give the star or column name also. So from table name. So let's go with that. Then example. Let's suppose I want to find the mm, total salary, sum of salary. Uh, Select and then you need to use aggregate function sum here and sum. On which column we need to perform this sum function? Salary column. We need to mention salary name. Salary. So okay, keep that simple. From employee info. So now if you try to execute, yeah. So 2,82,001 rupees, the sum salary. But if you see this sum salary, it is not user convenient. That means it is not a user readable. So you can give the convenient description as you want by using the as keyword. As like I want to display the name like uh, total sum of salary. So I want to display this result as a total sum of salary. Now execute. Now see total sum of salary 2,82,000 82,001 rupees. This is the sum function. In the same manner, you can use select. If you want to find the average, AVG salary as AVG of salary from employee info. Let's suppose execute. So this is the average. We know that the formula average is total value by number of values. In the same manner, if you want to find the sum, copy this. Probably average minimum max. So then count. Here you can give the star or you can give the total. Employee info. So what is the minimum? Yeah. So this 50,001 rupees is the minimum. So if we execute this one, this query should have to return this value. So yeah, minimum. In the same manner, so the maximum value is 45,000. So the maximum value is 45,000. Now if you try to execute, so 45,000. So now, so this count, so it counts the number of rows. So here we have eight rows. So whenever you execute, it will return 8. That means there are 8 records presented in this employee info table. So here inside parenthesis, you can give the column name. So what is our call? Let's suppose mm, contact. Contact. Now if we execute, again it will give the same result. Let's suppose let's insert some values. Description. Where? Not this one. Yeah, department. 109. Maha. Let's give null. 20,000. Hmm. I'll execute this one. Okay, we have executed successfully. Load retrieve. So okay, we have inserted a new. So with a null. So here, instead of giving count, give the asterisk. So it is giving 9. But here, if you give the column name department, here we have a null value. So if you try to give the to department of employment, it gives the result 8 because the count won't consider null value. That is the difference. So it won't count the null value. So it never count the null value. So that's why major of the cases based on the unique primary keys, we can perform all operations like count, where conditions, fetch, along that. So or else if we give this employee ID, we can give result 9. So these are the aggregate functions. Uh, Sum, max, minimum, average, count. So yeah. So let's suppose paste the records. So here, if you see this salary, so it is the order of the salary is zigzagging. Like 23 is 34 increased, again it increased, again it decreased. So it is a zigzag. So now I want to in a sequential manner, like that it should be in a ascending order. Like we can achieve this by using one of the class that is order by. So this is the class. So the order by is a class in SQL. So SQL, it is used to sort the result set from the select statement in a ascending order or descending order. So this is the result set. So select, yeah. So from select to this table name, this is the result set. So whenever it execute statement, it gives the result. That is the result set. So now again on the result set, we are applying the condition. So in the same manner, this order by will work. So we're applying the order by class on the select result state, result set, result set from the select statement. So ascending, so it sorts the records ascending order. So by default, it support ascending order. So if you want to make it in descending order, you can use keyword that is disk. DESC. Remember, this if you use this disk on this order by class, now it sort the results. But if you this use the keyword on table, then it will give the description. So now this is the syntax. So cell start from table order by column name. Column, or you can apply the multiple columns. I mean, you can mention the multiple columns. Yes, is a user to ascending. Let's suppose execute. Uh, see, same this one. This. So, but we are changing the methods. Not this one. Yeah, this one. So I want to sort my entire table based on the salary. Now I need to see the salary in ascending manner. So you can see this. Select everything from employee info. So employee info. After that, it is the whenever you execute, it gives the result. So this is the result set. On this result set, we need to mention order by. So order by. It is optional. ASC. It is optional whether you mention or forget it. It is optional. By default, it support ASC. So ascending, we need to give the column name salary. Order by is not a valid. Why it is show? Okay, God, sorry. So order by this column on which manner? ASC. ASC stand for ascending. So now execute. Now you can verify the salary order of the salary. So from 15,000, it sequentially consecutively increasing. 15,000, 20, 23, 34, 34, 35, 40, 45. If you omit this one, it will give the same result. So it is optional. It is not a mandatory to mention ASC. So in the same manner, if you want to display descending order, just you need to mention DSC. If you execute this one, now let's see. So it is coming in a descending order, reverse order from bottom to top. So 45,000, 45,000. It goes 35,000, 34, 23, 20, 15. So this is the order by class. Uh, let's suppose execute this one. I want to sort name. Uh, Not a name. Yeah, okay. So I want to sort my name. So you can mention by separating them EMP name by ASC. It will give the error because we're performing someone is salary, it goes mismatch. So now you can verify H. If you see according to the alphabetic series of ABC, H, J, M, M, F, and V. So in the same manner, you can mention DSC. So it becomes the reverse. I want to fetch. Mm, so this is the order by. So this is the order by class. The another one is group by having. So group by. So it is a class in MySQL. So it is a class in SQL. So that is used to arrange identical data into groups. So we need to keep this sentence in our mind. So that means, so it arrange identical data into groups. So whenever it find identical data means, yeah, this one. Let's keep this. Salary, salary. So this is the identical values 45, 45, 45. So these three are the identical values. So that means it to whenever you apply group by function, it to group this identical in a single. So identical data into a groups. So this class comes under the category of the group function. So alongside the likes of count sum. So these are the that group functions, count sum. That means aggregate functions. So this is the syntax for a group by. So select column 1, column 2 from table. Here we need to mention group by, and group by we can mention multiple columns. So here the column 1 and 1 must have to match. So here mm, like a group by functions we can apply. Yeah, I need to find that means how many who is having the salary 45 there, 45,000 similar to other. I need to find how many 45,000s are there. So we can find that. Select. Here we need to apply the some group by functions. Here we need to what is our requirement? We need to find how many. So that means we need to use the group function, that is count everything, and I need to give the let's give that symbol count from employee info. So then what is the syntax? Group by. So group by, we need to mention the column name. I need to group by salary. Okay, okay, okay. Uh, salary, salary as what is the description for this one? It would be yeah, number of same. Let's execute. So now we can verify that. So that means, so in our current table, that is a employee info table, we have only 23,000 only one, 34,000 we have only one, 40,000 only one, 35,000 only one. But if you see this 45,000, we have a 345,000. So we have a 345,000. That means it is a grouping. So it is grouping the salary column, and we are counting that each column. So there is a group by. Again, uh, you can give the order by class here. Order by That's order by salary. So now you can verify. So it will sorted the result. So you can apply the order by class after the group by also. So it is a grouping and it is finding. It is counting number of. So that is a group by functions. Let's see with one more example. So I have created one database, that is sample database. So inside sample database, I have this kind of tables: customers, employees, offices, orders, everything. Let's fetch customers, address, city, state, postal code. Uh, it is not working. Employee, employee number, last name, first name, extension, email, office code, reports, or sales. So yeah. So here I need to find the job titles. I need to count the job titles. So you can apply the same syntax. Uh, Copy this one. Control copy. Go here and select count. I need to count the total number of job title as number of same. From this is my from employees table. Employees group by. So we need to group this one column, job title, and I need to make sort job title. Now if you try to execute, employee does not exceed. Okay. mm, Use classic models. Okay, now let's execute this one. Now you can find. So president, sales manager, sales repo, VP marketing, and VP sales. So we have a 17 sales repo and one president, and you can count. So we are grouping the identical data and we are counting. Uh, so let's suppose you can find the sum also. So count and I need to find the sum. Sum for what? Salary. Now you can execute this one. Table classing. Oh my God. So here I need to execute this one. Use PCS global. Now execute this one. So now we can verify. So we're displaying the salary. That means some. Let's make it order. Some. Let's go here. Let's salary. Control V. Now execute. Yeah. So count the number of salaries. Uh, go- Okay. Comma. Yeah. Why it is showing? Yeah. Salaries. So 15,000, we have only one count. 20,000, we have a one. The sum is 20 and 35,000. 35,000 same. But if you see this 45,000, we have a three 45,000. So it is summing the total sum. So 45, 45, 45. So 45, 45, 90, 90, 45, 135. So 1,35,000 total sum. So like this way, you can perform multiple group functions. But remember that. So this group by function, group by class only applicable for these aggregate functions only. So whenever we try to remove this one, Control X. If you try to execute, okay, we are salary we're displaying, so we're not performing any operation. We're just printing the salary. So when you want to perform group by class, you need to have these uh, aggregate functions. So yeah, count. So like this way also you can use a group by. So we're grouping the identical data and we're displaying the count. This is the group by. So let's suppose here uh, I have I am using the group by class on this particular table. So it is giving the final result. But if you want to, after this group by function, if you want to give condition, that means if you want to give the filter after this group by function, you can also do that. Like how we are how we are defining this like it is showing. Okay, okay. So like how we are giving the condition after the result set. So in the same manner, after this group by result set, if you want to make any conditions on the final result, you can do this by using the having. So by using the having. So like it is also class. So having is a class in SQL. So that allows you to filter result set in a group by class. So it filter this result set. That means you can apply conditions. So for result sets in a group A class, it is used to mention conditions. See, conditions on the group being selected. In other words, having is mainly used with the group A class to filter the results that take group A returns. It is almost similar to select and where. How after selecting, how after result set of the from select statement we are applying the where, the same manner we can apply the conditions by using the having from using the result set from the group by class. So it is a similar to where class, but it operates on the result set of a grouping exactly. It only operate grouping functions like aggregate functions. um, Aggregate. So here, the where class places conditions on the selected statement columns, whereas this have a class places the condition group. That is the main difference. We can apply only on selected columns, but here we are applying the condition group columns. So this is the syntax. So always select to count to function. So here a function is nothing but aggregate function. Aggregate function. So aggregate function, column name, from which table, where we need to mention conditions. It is optional uh, and group by. So after group by having. So having the function, again function is nothing but aggregate function. Aggregate. So aggregate function and a column. condition value. So this is the syntax. So let's suppose we performed this operation. So it is finally retrieving this the result. Now on this result set of the group by class, I want to display only the salaries greater than 40. So I want to display only salaries, sum of salaries greater than 40. So greater than 40. So you can do this. Just you need to modify the query. It is similar. And here, group by salary. And here you need to give the having class. Having. And what is our requirement? We need to find the salary, the sum of salary, which is greater than 40. Sum salary greater than 40. Let's start from table having order. So we can simply say that. So we are selecting the salary number of them. We are counting the salaries and we are summing the salary. From which table? Employee table. So we are grouping the salary column because we need to know how many salaries are identical. So after the result set of the group by class, again I am applying one condition. So that means which some salary is greater than 45,000. So finally the result come here. This condition where final result will display based on this condition order by salary in ascending manner. So now if we try to execute this one, control clear. Now you can see this. So one row are returned. So number of same 45,000. This is the salary. How many 45,000? 33. So total sum is 1,35,000. Let's suppose I want to display 20,000. Where you can find. So 23,000, 24,000, 25. So these are all the same. Let's suppose 30,000. Now you can find. So based on this condition, we are displaying the results whether ascending order or descending order. So this is the having class. So having class. If we see this in this employee, let's perform office state USA postal code aggregate functions like count San Francisco order details price quantity order number orders. Mhm. So here let's keep an eye on this table. What is the order details order tables? So we have a order number, order date, required date, and ship date status. So if you clearly observe that status, we have a different kind of status. One is ship, the another one is cancel. Where it is? Yeah. Yeah, cancel, resolved, and on hold, dispatched, are different. So in progress. So I need to find the status, each and every status. how many orders completed, how many orders in progress, how many orders cancelled. I need to follow this. Okay. Uh, Select what is our date status. I need to status as mm, no, I don't need the status. Um, Status as mm, count status, and I need to use the count function. Count and which column? Status column. I need to count. It gives. Then I need to from which table orders. Orders group by status. Now let's execute this one. Oh, we need to use database. Use classic models. Okay. Yeah. Now we can verify that. So we have shipped 33 under resolved. That means whenever the customer makes some problems, queries, so we have four result. Four orders has been cancelled on hold. Four dispatched, three and in process six. So here my condition is uh, count. You can make this order by status. Okay, status. Mhm. Having ship count status order having count greater than not a count. We have to use the aggregate function. Yeah, count on status greater than 3. Order by status. So now we can verify us. Verify. So it is selecting, it is counting the status, and we're grouping the identical status, and on result set of the grouping, we are again giving the condition. That is, this is our having condition, having. So the group we are checking. So which group function, which group result set having count greater than 3. So that result short based on the status. So that is the having. So these are the three classes presented in SQL. Having a group by and order. Sorry, guys. Group by, order by. So order by, if you want to display result set in some format, ascending order, either ascending order or descending order. So we can use order by and a group by. So we can say in a single term as it two groups identical data into groups on the basis of the aggregate functions. And if you want to, again, if you want to give the conditions on this aggregate functions, like result set from this group by, in that cases, you can use having class. So having class. So this is the data constraints. We will cover this foreign key. Don't worry, guys. And order by minimum max. Here employees, not this one, employee info. Execute. Total. Yeah, okay. So here, okay, guys. Um, if you want to find some names, some patterns, like based on the pattern, if you whenever I give the pattern like H, I need to display the H related. So we can do this by using this like keyword. So in SQL, like, so it gives the results based on the pattern. It accepts the pattern uh, within percentage symbol. So this is the symbol for, it is the pattern symbol. Uh, let's suppose I want to find everything. Select star, not, I want to find EMP name from employee info. Info, where EMP name, like within quotation, because it is a string. So within quotation H. Let's give small h. Now try execute. Table, okay. Use on execute. Now you can verify this. So it so let's start from. So we are selecting the employee name. So based on this pattern. So from table, this is the result set where employee name. So employee name who is having the starting letter. So we are giving the H at the starting position. So that is, it gives the result who is having a name with starting letter H. So this is the pattern. But if you try to execute this same statement with a different pattern, if you try to give at the end, then it will give different, because each and every employee name at the last you can find H. So this is the at the end. The next one is control V percentage. So either neither starting nor ending. So we are finding the name where who is having the name which contain character H at any position. So now you can execute. Now you can find. So all of these names has having H. So he Harris is having character at the end, and Maha is having the third position. Like this way, you can give the pattern. You can find the names based on this pattern by using the like keyword. Yeah, okay, guys. So that's it for today. If you have any queries, you can ask me. I think today we have covered a lot of topics. But try to, if you practice, it would be very grateful for you.